When she was being weaned from her mother, she kept breaking out and finding her mother. And she was weaned when she was finally like a year and a half old. And you usually wean them at 6 months. And at a year and a half, I had to wean her because the mom was losing weight and they just needed to be separated that way. Okay, welcome back. I'm Ruth and welcome to Silver Dance Ranch, and this is Taste Your Magic YouTube channel. We're playing today with the horse healers and just doing a little animal communication. They have some things that they wanted to share with you today. And this is a series we're going to be doing where the horses will be teaching a lesson through their experience and what they've noticed as they've worked with clients and humans, and how they translate it. And Jewel has something she wants to share with you guys. When I listen to animals and communication, what I like to do is it's a very heart-based connection. So I want my heart to connect in with hers. And how do I do that is I start to relax my heart area and feel like letting it open up. And I let myself trust what I receive. When they communicate through body language, they communicate through visions and memories that I'll start to get and they give. They'll communicate through, I can even hear them, almost like a voice. Sometimes they have different voices. And a lot of it is just different types of languages you get used to learning and feeling. A lot of it takes feeling and translating for yourself. So with her, Jewel was raised here. She is actually Pilot's granddaughter. And when she was born, we call her the goddess. And it's because the only reason she is in a fenced-in area is because she chooses to. Otherwise, she'll break a fence down, she'll jump fences, she'll roll under them, and she never gets hurt. If anybody tries to follow her, however, sometimes they'll get hurt. But she doesn't get hurt. Sometimes she'll lose a shoe because it gets stuck from her pawing the fence. But when she wants me to share a little bit of her triumphs for a minute here. When she was being weaned from her mother, she kept breaking out and finding her mother. And she was weaned when she was finally like a year and a half old. And you usually wean them at 6 months. And at a year and a half, I had to wean her because the mom was losing weight and they just needed to be separated that way. So I ended up putting Jewel, as a year-old, in a pen that was a 12 by 12 pen with water. And I put these hobbles on her feet that tied her feet together so she could only walk like this, right? Sometimes you do this when you're on the mountains and you just let them graze and they just kind of walk like this. Well, she got out like that. And so the next day I put her in the same pen and I tied her feet together again. And then I actually, don't do this, by the way. Don't ever do this. I don't recommend anybody doing this. I tied her halter through her legs and to one of her back feet with her front legs. So she had 3 legs tied together. So she could only eat for a minute and then drink for a minute. And she had big fence panels. And everything was fine. And when I woke up the next morning, those panels were laid down, and you can see how big our property is. She had made it through 2 fences. Back then it was just like wire tape. So she kind of broke through and jumped through those and was running with the hobbles and the rope cable, just dragging behind her, no problem. And she only had like a little bit of scratches on her legs, and that was it. I still to this day have no clue how she did it, what happened, and she won't even talk about it at all for me to figure it out. So finally, her mom ended up weaning her, is what happened. Her mom got sick of her and just made her stop nursing. And that was the only way we could get her to stop. Since then, if Jewel was ever alone somewhere or wanted to come visit us at the house or felt like she wanted to visit a neighbor, she would just get out. So when she was 2 years old, though, this is where she wants to talk about it's okay for you, if you're ready to step forward into a bigger position or more responsibility or more of the adult of who you are, or taking that up level in your life. She says, don't wait. She wants you to really keep the passion in your life going. And an example she wants me to share with that is when she was 2 years old, I had a whole group of people coming to the ranch, and we were doing a full moon ride. Well, I'd only been riding her maybe a month is all. That's all the training she's had on her. Super green broke, young baby. And I was asking one of our other horses here, this is what I do with the horses when I have clients come out. This is what we're doing today. This is who's coming. This is what I expect from you. Who wants to join? This is how many I need to join. And then they'll come up and they'll show me who's where. And then they kind of pick the riders and pick the people, right? And who wants to do it. I found that this is the safest way for me to participate with the horses. Well, Jewel comes running up like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And I'm like, it's a full moon ride. I'm going to be leading the group in the dark, in the mountain with people that are scared. And you just don't do that with a 2-year-old. She kept following me. I'm ready. Well, the horse I was going to take, he's like, nah, don't want to do it. And he ran off. And I was like, are you kidding me? This isn't safe. And anyway, Lexi, my daughter, was young as well. So she was going to have to ride behind me. So there was a lot of components that a young 2-year-old that has only had 30 days on her is a no. You just don't do that. There's a lot of dangerous components. But she says she could do it. I can do it. And so I put some trust into her, and we saddled her up, and we put a little buddy saddle on the back with Lexi, and she was a lot smaller than this. She's kind of chunky right now. And her and I and my daughter led a group of 6 people in the dark on the mountain, up and down these steep hills on a full moon ride. And she did so good. In fact, she was so small that the saddle didn't really fit her, especially with 2 people on her. And my saddle, when I was coming down the hill, actually started sliding up onto her neck like this. And as we started sliding, she come to a stop, and we're on this hill like this, and all these people are behind me in the dark, and Lexi's on there, and I'm like, Lexi, you gotta get off. And so Lexi jumps off, because the trail we were in was about that deep, and then it came up like that. Anyway, so Lexi steps off, I step off, and the saddle slides down to where the horn and the seat and the stirrups were all right here, and the cinch, and her head was like tied to her feet upside down like this. And I was like, oh my gosh. But she just stopped. She just handled it, and she asked what she needed to do next, and she listened to me. And long story short, that was the only thing that happened. Everybody else had a great ride. She showed up, and since then it taught me to listen even more and trust. And so she's trying to share with you guys that if you're feeling that passion in you, no matter what age you are, no matter what experience you are, we all come with different gifts. We all come naturally talented at different levels. Some people can practice their whole life basketball, but they're not going to be an NBA player. And sometimes they don't have to practice very much to be an NBA player. I'm sure they practice a lot. But you get what I mean, because their talent is already there. So she says, look in your heart of what's your talent? Where's that passion in you? And when you start to feel it coming alive, trust that maybe you can move a little bit faster than some of the others that say you can't do it. whether it's your age, whether it's your experience. Learn how to master yourself in your passions. Jewel is really passionate. She's passionate about her relationships. She's passionate about her performance. She's passionate about the things that she knows and thinks she's smart at. She's passionate when she thinks she can do it. She tries and tries and tries until she figures out a way to do it. She's even had other horses do the dirty work for her just so she could do the rest of it. Clever. But you don't need to do that. But figure out how your passion might be your talent, because we're drawn to the things that we're meant to do in this world. And she's saying, don't be afraid to not start to step into that level up. Of course it's going to be tricky. Of course there's going to be challenges. Of course you're going to be trying a new step, a new way, a new discovery. But she keeps saying, go for it when you feel it's time. Don't wait, keep going. This is a big lesson for me as well, because my problem is I get stuck in the perfectionist. I think it needs to be perfect a certain way, especially if I think I'm good at it or I've been good at things or something like that. I let perfectionism get in my way and actually stop me from moving forward into that next level or showing up stronger in areas that I know I could do better at, because I think that has to be perfect. Jewel learns as she goes the tricks of the trades, and she lets the parts of her that are naturally good at things take over as well. So is there anything else, Jewel, you want to share with them? She called it, don't be afraid to grow up. Because it's kind of funny because we talk about, don't be afraid to be a child. Come back and be a kid again, right? Play in life. And Jewel is saying that you don't have to lose your passion when you grow up. She's talking about stepping into that next level. Let yourself step into the wisdom of you. Let yourself step into the precision of you. Let yourself express your genius. Let yourself move from good to great things. And you'll find the people that can work with you on the way. Trust that. Okay, and now I want you to see what Jewel has to say to you. Is there any last words she wants to share with you? I think that was a good message that she wanted to share. All right. Thank you.